Hello, my name is Todd Bienvenu. I am a painter living in Brooklyn.
I'm Emily Nam. We are art people.
I feel like when I talk about painting, it makes me I talk about like music. Like I feel like it's easier to sort of explain like like if you're my favorite I love the Clash. Like they're a punk band, but like they don't listen to punk music, and their music doesn't come. It comes from like reggae and like other African music and things, and then they put it through their filter. But if if you listen to a band that's punk and they only listen to punk music, the music just sounds like derivative shit. Like you sort of take what you can from other places and run it through your own experience.
Todd Bienvenu is a painter. His paintings are a reflection of his biographical universe. They are thick, direct, and humorous. Resourcing images from his daily life and occurrences, the question I wanted to extract from Todd is, why do you paint? It is evident in his commitment to his practice in and outside of the studio that there is an inherent pull to show up every day and contend with the image. In paint, with collage, or making a tiny pizza delivery man reminiscent of his early days riding around Brooklyn. I met with Todd in his studio before we had this conversation, and Todd mentioned something to me that resonated. If you don't have that pull to get to the studio every day, the unspoken sentiment was that you need it. Starting his early artistic explorations making comic books while navigating the trials of early adolescent life, to embarking on an artist's life first in Louisiana and now living in Brooklyn, New York. Todd has exhibited work internationally in places such as Hong Kong, London, New York, Brussels, and Switzerland. In 2018, he was recognised and received an award from the American Academy of Arts and Letters for excellence in painting, conferred by Peter Saul. Something I've admired in the time I've known Todd is his respect and mutual relationship with the painter Bill Jensen. Something Todd commented on is the words that Bill Jensen shared during the early days of his career. I have just been doing this a little bit longer than you. You are an artist right now. Is a reinforcement that no matter where you are at, we are all in this together. Hi Todd, it's great to have you with me today to have a conversation.
Thanks for having me.
We had a dump of snow last night.
No, I'm seeing it out the window. I can see it in the trees. I thought it was done, but we got more. Feeling pretty wintry. I'm still in my PJs. I haven't left the house yet though. So
Oh, good. Are you a snow person or are you a summer person?
I think you have to embrace it. Like I'm tempted to just like stay inside and be cozy and never leave the bed. But I think if you can find a way to like we go snowboarding, like if you can like go
Yeah.
snowboarding, you're like, oh, this is amazing and fun, and I'm warm because I'm wearing clothes for it and everything. But like a major part of me is I'm very lazy and I just want to be in bed and like hibernate until it's over.
Yeah, it's hard and it gets dark super early as well,
Yeah,
so
no, you wake up, it's dark.
it's very much primal bear-like behavior.
Yeah, it's hard to motivate. Yeah, I don't know, but when the weather's really nice and it's sunny, I don't feel motivated either. I just want to be lazy outside. So I don't know.
We're depicting that you're a lazy person.
I mean, I think I've got to try really hard not to be. That's a daily struggle.
Yeah, I think we all have to, you know, get that self-determination going.
Mm, or not. I mean, no judgment.
Or not, yeah, totally. So you grew up in a place called Little Rock in, how do I pronounce it?
Arkansas. Well, I split time there, and my family's from Louisiana, and
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of went back and forth a few times. I was born in Arkansas, and then we moved back to Louisiana, and I did grade school in Louisiana, and then we moved back to Arkansas around like junior high, high school time, and now my parents have since moved back to Louisiana. So, depending on whose company I'm with, I might claim one or the other. But
Yeah.
and then I went to university in Louisiana. So I haven't been back to Arkansas. I think I went to a friend's wedding maybe in about 15 years ago and haven't been back since.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, the roots are Louisiana, but the birth certificate says Arkansas.
How long would it take? Do you drive if you go there, or you would
You
fly?
fly. I mean, I've driven, but it's a haul.
And you moved to New York for painting?
Yeah, so I went to Louisiana State in Baton Rouge for undergrad, um, and then I lived in New Orleans for like a year or so, like waiting tables and painting in my living room and applying to grad schools. And I got into the studio school, which I'm sure you're familiar with. And I think I got here in 2004, I want to say, and did 3 years of the studio school. And yeah, I mean, I was in New Orleans, which is a great town, but it felt like I had I wanted to be in the painting scene. It seemed like New York was a place to be. So
And that kind of pulled you, and you've really stuck. We had a conversation about you do a lot of residencies and you move around a lot, but you're always wanting to come back to
yeah,
New York.
yeah, no,
It's very much home
this
now.
definitely feels like home. I mean, especially I was at a talking with a friend yesterday. Especially in this political environment, I feel like New York's safe and we're around the people I want to be around, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe like-minded
Yeah, totally.
people.
I've been with my wife. Well, we've been married for a few years, but we've been together for like 8, and I've only brought her down south once. So like I feel my roots are here.
Yeah, that's nice. So you feel that you're going to be this 80-year-old painter hanging out in New
Oh, I
York?
hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah, I've earned it.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to chat to you a bit about your paintings. So we were having a conversation. I was in your studio last week and we are talking about that's your way of expressing and having a voice. And um, just in summary, my interpretation is you do biographical paintings that are very confronting to day life and also just very real and honest
I
work.
hope so.
Um, yeah, I also feel there's a lot of like innuendo and like philosophical meaning in it, and I don't know if that's just my own interpretation, but I wanted to know when you started painting, like beyond being 5 years old, but when did you go, like, I want to be a painter, I'm going to commit to this? Like, how did that
Well,
happen?
I've always been artistic, and I feel like I've told this, or my mom's told this story where like I was the first of three, and I got to kindergarten, and like she knew that I could. She didn't know I could draw. Like my mom was like, "Kids, this is how kids are," and the kindergarten teacher was like, "Wow, Todd can really draw." And she's like, "Oh, like it was always. It sounds like it was always sort of there." And then, um, I drew comic books, and that was like my thing when I was coming up. And then when I got to college, was like, what should I study? And so I started in architecture because it was like drawing and a job. Like it didn't occur to me that like an artist was like a real thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware of any like contemporary art. I was aware of like impressionism and stuff. So like um, I started in architecture. It wasn't really my fit. Maybe I was like maybe should have taken a gap year or something instead of going straight into college. I was kind of not ready for that. Uh, but in any event, I switched schools and I had took an art class and I had a really great teacher, kind of like invited me to his home and he had a studio like built into the house and he had a wife and a kid and he was like living it. He was making paintings and it sort of like opened the doors to what was possible for me and then I switched to being an art major and started taking art classes and it really just that was that like um
Mm-hmm.
and I took all the entry level like the sculpture, printmaking, everything, and painting just seemed like the right one for me. And it just sort of I don't know if it came. I think the draw. I mean, I always drew. So like when in the figure classes, like having drawn all those comic books, like I not that I like study anatomy, but I just like have drawn the people's bodies like so many times over the years that it just like it was just like it felt like natural, I guess.
Mm. Do you still have those comic
The
books?
ones that I drew, I hope my mom does. I bet she has something. I mean, they're like from when I was like 11 years old, so they're pretty funny.
About things or like
Yeah, I mean, I
stories?
think I don't know if the story part came naturally to me, but like there was like I remember them just being like ultra violent and like just like a new cooler character would emerge and like kill everybody else, and then I don't know. It was just I used to draw Batman a lot. Um,
They were Earth comics, like about Earth people, or
yeah, I mean
you're into sci-fi
it was like
stuff.
derivatives. It was derivative superhero comics, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, cool.
Like I don't know. I mean, and then like people made fun of me for being into comics when I was like 12, and they were like, turn into young adults, and so I kind of like had to hide it and give it up, and not show that side of myself through high school, so, because it was like a Catholic boys' school, and there's nowhere to hide if you're like sensitive and weird, and
Right.
people like were mean to me and stuff.
Like, oh,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah, no, totally.
Everyone's had to deal with it.
Yeah, totally. I'm like 30 years later, I'm still like processing
Yeah,
these
all
teenage
this pain.
traumas and rejection from the jocks.
That's interesting though that you are in a way doing these like narrative paintings. Like that's sort of stayed through in a way and but it's just come out in a totally different expression.
Well, like I don't I honestly like in school, like I was really drawn to Rembrandt. I was really drawn to de Kooning, painting painters, and I tried my hand at abstract painting. I tried my hand at just like anyone who I came across who I liked their work, I would try to make paintings like that to see if I to try to find my voice. It sort of was like I know it's not this, and I know it's not this, and I know it's not this. Like I really appreciate Agnes Martin paintings, but I don't want to make those paintings. Like I really appreciate you know they're just I don't I felt like I was just sort of sampling things, but in a way it sort of was good rather than just doing one thing the whole time and sort of like I feel like when I talk about painting, it makes me I talk about like music. Like I feel like it's easier to sort of explain like if you're my favorite. I love the Clash. Like they're a punk band, but like they don't listen to punk music, and their music doesn't come. It comes from like reggae and like other African music and things, and then they put it through their filter. But if you listen to a band that's punk and they only listen to punk music, the music just sounds like derivative shit. Like you sort of take what you can from other places and run it through your own experience. I mean, when I moved to New York, I was like, I'm gonna make like intellectual, abstract paintings, like art with a capital A, thoughtful, and I'm like, well, that's not really, it doesn't fit me. Like I feel like my interest in intellect lied somewhere else. So like, I feel like my breakthrough paintings were about like people getting drunk at the bar and throwing up on each other and like kind of like rowdy and um, because I feel like that was a lot of the experiences that I was having, and it sort of was like this isn't even a real subject. This isn't even like a real thing, but it sort of was the most fun to make, and so it sort of became real, became interesting, became like it sort of started to feel like I was actually like not just copying someone else, but like doing my own thing for once. So like I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've tried on a bunch of different hats, and like sort of I see other people's work, and I'm like, man, I wish I could do that, but it's sort of like the work that I make it does tend to reflect on my like uh, autobiographical experience. My wife's a sculptor and multimedia performance artist, and her work is like dealing with like the environment and feminism and all these like amazing
Completely different to what you're
completely
doing.
different, like
Yeah, which is so
totally
nice.
amazing.
Yeah,
But like
but
I always tease her. I'm like, it's funny. Like all my paintings are about like like you show up in all my paintings,
yeah.
and I never show up in your sculptures. Like mine are sort of like love letters to my friends and family, and
Yeah,
yours,
give me some
yeah. Like
attention.
you don't think I'm a beautiful person worth sculpting about, like yeah. No, she's like no hydrofeminism. I don't need this hairy man in my sculptures at all.
That's funny. I think it's like really important and it's hard to find that like language of what you're doing and I think when you're in art school it's really important to look at other artists and as you said touch everything.
It is and it isn't. It's just admitting it.
When was that moment that you just went, "Oh, like this is me. I want to just do what I am and let go of all the other like ideal, like yeah, you talked about intellectual painting and just being you and not worrying about, like, was that easy for you, like as a person, that's who you are, or did you have to really work through?
It was really hard for me because but I mean, I think it's really easy for other people. Like I've seen it. Like you'll see some
Mm,
kids in school who just like they know what they are, and they
mm,
just maybe need to learn how to work the paint, figure out how to use a brush. And there's some people I've seen it too, where they're like tremendous painters, like as soon as they get there, or like they get to art school and they've already been painting since they were like six, or like have academic skills or whatever, but then they can't sort of let go of that facility or that technique and like do something real because there's like I feel like there's tons of painting that's like quote unquote good, or like the paintings that your mom would be like, wow, that's a really good painting. You're like, that's shit.
mm.
Like it's not.
Yeah, because they're in that, like a painting is a
It looks
like
like
a
the thing. It looks just like the thing. Like my Instagram algorithm's full of that. Like, wow, look at that. It looks just like you can see the little eyelashes and everything. It's like anybody can do that. That's like nothing. It's not even but like then you show someone a full custom painting, and you're like, my kid could do that. That's just like you're like, this is like the best thing I've seen all year. Like I this
yeah.
it's not like I think for me it was hard. For me, I feel like I grew up in this like maybe repressed Catholic thing. I don't know what it was, but for whatever reason, wanting to please the teacher, or like not being comfortable being myself, or not think what I have to say is worth saying. I still feel that way. I mean, it took me a little while. I mean, I got here in 2004, and I painted in the studio for like 10 years without anybody seeing it, without getting any shows, before I finally started to get some like basement shows in Ridgewood. But like, you know, it took me a minute, but like I definitely see people come out of like grad schools every year that are just like fully,
Just like know it and go for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't
But how do you feel about that time, like that period of searching and not having your work showing? Like, do you reflect on that and go, that was an amazing period of time, or do you wish you'd been showing more, or like how?
totally. No, I mean, in the moment you're like, why won't anyone show me? And then like later I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
right.
my paintings were absolute shit. Like, oh, that's why. Or, maybe I was, you know, I'd go to an opening and just talk to the person serving wine, and not making any friends, being antisocial. I don't know.
I do
Like,
see a lot of older artists like commenting, and I've kind of really tried to absorb this. Not say older age, but like experience, and they're like, stay away from the art world as long as
yeah,
possible. Spend time on building your language and
totally. I
like
mean,
not getting distracted
I've
by.
heard that advice, but I mean, looking back on it, like that was such a romantic, wonderful time for me. Like nobody saw the paintings. I was free to sort of, explore and figure things out. And then,
Hmm.
I lived in my studio illegally, and like, like just had all these like wild, really fun times, and like scrappy, sort of like if you get everything all at once, it's sort of maybe you don't appreciate it. Like I remember one year I made like $12,000. Just like living in New York. Like
How did
how
you
did that
survive?
even work?
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't trade my journey like for like instant gratification, which I think is, I mean, even once you get going, like you'll see somebody and then they'll disappear for 10 years and like then come back. Like it doesn't. It's not like it just goes up and up and up and up. Like
Yeah.
and I don't know. The grass is always greener. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. And we were talking about this, maybe you were kind of reflecting on, you're just making paintings, and like my point of view is you're really in this container of making great work and you're focused, and I'm in that other stage of really touching maybe on my language, but I haven't fully like embodied it. And so you're kind of talking about this, I'm like, I want to be there, and you're saying, oh, I want to be, maybe I should be doing other things. And it's kind of interesting that we're always buffering against each other and knocking against.
well, like I mean, if you do you ever find your language, and then if you do you
Yeah.
just become like an assembly line where you just make the same damn painting every like
Yeah.
time, and then like your gallery or whoever, their expectation is like, oh well, this is different. We don't want this. Like I remember very clearly. I used to work in this wood shop building stretchers and frames for artists who, and I worked with another artist, and he made paintings. Like every painting of his was the same. He's a little older than me. Like not the same, but like he had a style. He had like a tech. He had a thing, you know. and
Mm-hmm.
he came to my studio, and like I had not did not have a thing. I had a painting looked like a Chris Martin next to a Bill Jensen, next to a Julian Schnabel, next to a portrait, next to like, like it was just like it looked like a group show in my studio, and he was sort of like poo-pooing me, like, this ain't gonna work for you. You gotta like settle
Yeah.
down, but like,
Yeah, settle
you know,
down. It's
settle
like
down into.
there's like all this chaos.
And I
Yeah.
was like, I kind of, I respectfully disagree. Like I kind of, I don't like the idea of like he probably goes in the studio and like watches a movie while he does his thing and like doesn't even, it's just motor memory. It's not like
Mm.
sort of like rethinking the wheel every time. I'm really jealous of the sort of polymath artists who like, I have a friend who just had a show, Aaron Skolnick, and he's at Mosh in East Village, and like the last show I saw his was like these, quiet landscapes, and like, I've seen a lot of his portraiture and stuff, and this one was like he had a full-on performance. He was telling jokes at the show, like in costume, like there was sculpture, there was like, just fully, just like everything you could think of, and for me, I like going to the studio, and every time I come in, I'm like, made another painting, like surprise, surprise,
Mm.
like it's flat,
I think that's the show you were referencing when we were talking.
yeah, no,
I'm
it's
just.
I just, there's tons of like, not painters, but like artists. Like I feel in the interim, like I'm a painter in New York, like the sort of thing, like where like artists make like whatever they want, or like have these huge happenings, and waterfalls over the East River, and just like my
Mm,
brain
mm.
doesn't like, maybe I don't know if I've my or like, and they're in a band, and like they do. I don't know. I'm just like, I just like, I feel like I'm a painter first and maybe an artist second. Like I don't have any ideas, but while I'm painting, I'm like, oh, I know I can sort of like make this better. Like
If you didn't compare, you see what everyone else was doing. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a very serious painter, which I think you are.
I don't feel,
And
yeah,
not
not
saying
too serious.
traditional, but like you are a painter that is committed to material painting, making work, and maybe your imagery. Like, let's say I was thinking about Chris Martin. He's a great painter that can mix all these different kind of things, and it all looks like the same person, but
Yeah,
at
totally.
the same time, it's all
I
like
went through a glitter phase. It
vast in
was,
its exploration.
yeah,
Yeah.
I tried it.
Really? I can't imagine
I
you
tried the
doing a
glitter,
glitter
and I
face.
was like, I don't know how he does it, because this is tough. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I see other artists that like they sort of get to a level where they don't paint, but they do like all the other stuff, like a Sarah Z or something. In like the last few shows I've seen of hers, they have had paintings. Because, and my wife laments this all the time. Like the cool thing about paintings is you sell them. Like just put a nail in the wall and
Everyone wants
hang
them
it
on the
up.
wall.
Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there is a. But she's from London, and she's finding New York very like uh, more commercial and more like commercial oriented than she found the London scene. Like here, people like make sellable work. It's not as much of an
Mm.
intellectual sort of exercise or something.
Which is strange for New York. I kind of expected it to be different, but I do feel that it's very, I mean, it is very driven by this art world kind of.
Well, the rent's so fucking high, and we don't. I mean, I had this girl, this Canadian student, email me one year, and she's like, I'm getting my MFA in Canada, and my school's giving me $10,000 to go live in New York and work for an artist. Can I come work for you? And I'm like, well, I can't pay. And she's like, no, no, my school's giving me 10 grand, so it's all paid for. I'll come work for you for free. And I'm like, wow, like that's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Like that's only like 3 months rent in New York, but like still, like it's just, we
Yeah.
don't have the support that a lot of other art-loving countries do. So I guess maybe that's just a fact of life. I don't know. I mean, I didn't get into this.
Yeah, it's tough. It's yeah, like New York is tough, but it's also there's so much like congested mix of art and artists and
Yeah, totally. And I
galleries, and so it's like that's why everyone's here, but it's like there's all these like other balancing things you have to deal with.
Yeah, but nobody starves. Like, no, I've never heard of an artist like starving to death. Like, we all there was that year where I was like, living on like $3 a day, and like I got through the year. Like, I don't,
Mm.
I didn't sell paint. There's like somehow we just sort of like cobble it together. Like,
Mm.
That because I've heard that as a negative too, like the the sort of like the people in Berlin or somewhere where like they're super supported, they just like hang out and don't make any art. So like
Mm.
I mean I've never
Yeah,
been
you earn the kind of taste for
so
it.
like
Yeah.
this sort of you know I I regularly see like world class art from like people that I know or just like it sort of makes me inspires me, like
Mm. What were you doing when you were sort of in that period of not selling art? Did you have another job, or you were
yeah,
just
yeah,
sort of
yeah. No,
trying to get
I
by?
I used to deliver pizzas on a bicycle. I'd had that job for a while. I've worked in a bunch of different like shops, like building stuff. I used to build the like when you go to Saks Fifth Avenue and you see all the stuff in the windows. I used to work in a shop that did like the window displays and like all the
Mm-hmm.
decorations inside Louis Vuitton and Hermes and stuff like that. And then and then would go home and paint in the evening or whatever. I worked in a crate shop and built crates and did art handling. I worked for different artists. I used to assist Bill Jensen and Kathy Bradford and whoever else, like Stretch and Paintings. Uh, and then two things that, well, I got fired from a job and collected unemployment from a year. I did that twice, and that was really helpful. And then when I did finally start to show, I started working with this gallery and I asked them to uh, give me a stipend. And he said, well, I won't do that, but I have a space you can use. So I had a studio space. So I was like, great, I can somehow come up with like my home rent money every month and where I can just move in here and not tell anybody and like so there's like I don't know there's a few just like little things that I did sort of like that were kind of just like make it work like um but like yeah like I'm thinking of friends I went to school with who were like better painters than me, better artists than me, and they got jobs at like internet companies and started like making real money and getting promotions and like all of a sudden like their time was all
That seemed better
yeah,
than,
like,
yeah.
oh, I can like live in a nice apartment and go shopping and like whatever, like have a nice life instead of this miserable life where no one sees my work. Like, it's like an easy decision to make, I would think. Like, but yeah, they don't paint anymore. They have like families and nice jobs and a beautiful home.
And holidays and
Right,
things.
right. Yeah, go out to eat.
Yeah. What is it, do you think, about painting that's pulled you in? Because I do see us, like, you are committed, you've worked through, like, you've got whatever it is that's that hook of being an artist that does keep you in, as opposed to the people you've just referred to.
I mean, maybe it's mental.
What makes you
I
show up to the studio
I
every
think
day
it's
and
part like I mean like sort of I think it's mental illness a little bit. Like I think it's like a little like I feel like maybe I don't present that way, but I'm like an anxious person. I do have like anxiety and depression. Oh, things that
just human things?
yeah, more than the average bear even. Like I think at some point I was like going to work and having like panic attacks, and I'm like I can't live this way. Like I can't. I'm not employable in this kind of way. I need to like be my own person. And so I was like, it's just gonna have to be like I'm gonna have to either live off the paintings or I don't know. Like that's what I just sort of felt like that was what the life was gonna have to be. Like, and I feel that now. Like, if we like run out of money, I'll just like not spend any money and draw. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel like I don't feel like there's an escape plan or a plan B. And I mean, I'm privileged to be able to say that because I'm sure that like I have faith in whatever that would work out. But it did really feel like a sort of like yeah, I can't go to work anymore. This isn't gonna work for me. I don't know.
I think the irony is, like, you probably spend as much time or even more work and commitment to your paintings than you would if you had a 9 to 5 job,
Way more.
for
Yeah, no,
example.
well, we have,
So it's not that you're not working, it's not
no,
that you're
well,
making any effort.
no, it's not that. I mean, I go to studio every single day. I mean, we have a 1 year old right now, so I revise that. I feel like on the weekends sometimes my wife insists that we have family days, but pre-baby, I would go like every single day and like put in a full day. Like, I would never, but it didn't feel like it's stressful to me to do that as it did to like show up at 8:30 for this job where the boss is kind of a dick and they make you feel like they could fire you or something if you do something wrong. You know,
Mm.
like that you're like I don't know, it's just I,
Like having a life that you can feel at ease with, I think is very important.
yeah, like since
I don't think that's bad that you're a painter, and I think that's something an artist has to deal with. It's like, I'm not part of this society that goes to work and
yeah,
has their weekends off. I'm working, but I'm not working like,
I can't help it if I like my job and you don't, you know.
yeah, yeah.
I I mean
I love what I'm doing.
yeah, no, I'm lucky enough to have found something I love like um but and yeah, and there's the you know, we go to openings and you know, there's lots of like sort of things outside the studio like that are also work or whatever.
Mm. Yeah, there is a business side that
Because yeah, I mean, you
um,
can't just stay
you
in this,
have to navigate.
you can't just paint in the
Yeah.
studio and never show the work to anybody. Like you have to get the work out there. It's pointless. Like you have to curate shows.
Yeah, be part of a conversation. I mean, I think that would be really nice. I think that's what I thought being an artist would be, just, in your studio,
Yeah, it's
like sun shining in,
oh my
painting,
God.
not really having to worry about all this other stuff. And
Some people probably don't. I mean, I'm sure there's loads of people who just do that and they don't care if
yeah.
anybody sees the work and it's therapy or it's or they're you know comfortable enough financially for whatever reason. I mean, I remember we had a woman that came to school with us who had already had like a professional life and then she became an artist later and you know
Mm,
like there's something liberating about that. Like she just, you know, she had savings, she had whatever, she could just do it without having to, you know. It was like every month I'm like, how are we gonna have rent? Like I hope I find someone to buy a painting. You know, I don't know. It's weird too. I mean, I went to like drawing school and there's like business things and there's like just different things that happen that you don't really anticipate or like are not prepared for.
have you felt that it's kind of come along at a nice pace for you to kind of go, I feel I'm like, I see you as someone that's got a lot of knowledge and experience, and you've been very transparent about giving some advice, and I wonder if that knowledge has come along at a good pace, or you've kind of just been dumped and had to really
I well
struggle to kind of learn quickly or get up to scratch on what you need to be doing. Or
I mean I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've always just tried to be nice and try to be open and try to be on. Like, I feel like if someone emails me, like, can I come visit the studio? I'm like, yeah, like, you know, a young artist or whatever. Like, I try to treat them how I wish would want someone to have treated me at that point. Like, I
Mhm, mhm,
try to be like that. I mean, but I mean, I also see the people that like the hot shots that like get it like right away, and I'm like, I'm sober now, and I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't have money back then because that probably would have been bad. Like,
mm.
you know. Like it's sort of I feel like I'm more in the like the long term, slow and steady kind of trajectory. I hope, you know, like because it can be such a I mean, you know, you see somebody and they're like the hot shit ever and then like 5 years later they're just it's done, it's over. Like
Mm.
I would prefer it to just sort of, you know, step by step, kind of like slowly and steadily, but solidly. I mean I feel like I just go in the studio and paintings every day and then I hope good and then I hope the people I work with are cool and like, because I mean, everybody has a story. Some gallerist or whoever who's like fucked them over. Like everybody has a story
Mm.
because it's like the Wild West. There's no laws. There's no rule. There's no need not to. You know, like I had some friends who were just talking about that. The gallery had like been spending more money than they were paying out, and then they had to close. Like that happens like every year. Like it happened to me. I mean, you know. Yeah, I don't know, but like, because they totally have me over a barrel. Because like, I would totally do this for free. Like, there's no incentive to pay me. Like, because I would still make the paintings and want people to see them. So, you know, they sort of have you at a disadvantage. And
I think that was the advice you gave me, and it was just this kind of real big eye opener. You said the word fuckery, which I really liked because it was like, okay, now I get it. Like, just be aware.
yeah,
And it just kind of like, just cleared a lot of questions that I had because I was like, okay, I get what this is
no,
now. Because, from a business point of view, as I completely agree, it's like you make the paintings, you want to show them, but
no, and then you
You got a livelihood.
and I mean I feel like I said this. I was talking about punk music earlier, and I feel like I grew up in a really, like, I found a sort of like punky DIY scene when I was a teenager. That sort of like, I listened to music and respected people that sort of like had these sort of like moral stances that were just like unshakable. And I feel like I try to carry that with me, like just not compromising on your art. People are like, oh, if you made more sunset paintings, we could sell them. I'd be like, fuck that. I'm not gonna, I'm not here for that. Like, I'm gonna make the paintings I want to make. Like, but it's hard. I mean, like, people are like, oh, these are the things that people want. And you sort of find yourself like in a uncomfortable position. Like, you're like, I don't really enjoy doing this anymore, or like, um, I feel like the whole point of it was, for me, is the freedom to like to get to just do what I want
Mm.
to every day and like make the paintings I want to see. And like very early on, I was working, I had a show in this gallery, like it was a young gallery, and they never sold anything. Like they just did it for the love. And I wasn't expecting to sell paintings. I'd hoped to, but like, it was early, and some like speculator called him up and was like, I like these. Let me buy four of the big paintings, but you'll give me like a huge discount. And it was like, that's enough. That's more money I've ever seen in my life. And that money would pay. I wouldn't have to work all year. And like, no one else is gonna buy them anyway. Like, this might bite me in the ass later, but like, what can you say to that? Like, and so we did it, and like, and I, was happy at the time. I understood. And then, sure enough, like a couple years ago, he like flipped everything, made a shitload of money off of it,
Yeah.
and like, it's like cool. But and I don't get any of that. Like, he just got to like, you know, just
Yeah.
like fuck over a young artist, like basically.
And it'd be nice maybe if you got like 10%. It's kind of
Well, I
like
don't want the fucking money. I just want people, like
acknowledgement though, like just a bit of respect to say,
I don't know what I want. I guess I'm just
yeah,
saying, like, it's sort of like, or I could have not sold to the speculator and like maybe waited a little long. Like, I don't know. Like, you sort of like,
yeah, but then maybe your works wouldn't have moved or, it's like you have to do what's in the moment.
yeah, the gallery was so happy. They're like, we made a profit this month. This is the first time we've ever had money. Like, it just
Yeah.
felt, like in the, and I just sort of like knew in the back of my mind, like, he's gonna flip him. He's gonna flip him. And then he did. And like cool. Like, but
Well, he had good faith in you then, I guess. He knew
no,
you
he
were,
bought everybody. It didn't like seem, it was like back when Instagram was like, you know, working for artists better. But yeah, I don't know. He just sort of was like, I don't know. I feel like it's just sort of, I don't feel like I ever had like a big break. I feel like it's just sort of, like I'm still waiting for my big break, like it just feels like every once in a while I get something really fun and cool, and we get to go to Paris and make a lithograph or something. But it's all just gravy. I mean, at the end of the day, I think I just really fell in love with making paintings and being in that room by myself with my thoughts and trying to like make something I think my friends would think is cool. Like, I don't know.
and do you have a good relationship with your galleries now that you can say, no, this is what I'm doing, this is how I want it to be, and like dialogue, or are you like contending with each other the whole time?
No, everybody's really cool. I mean, I work with nice people. I mean, yeah, one of my galleries, he FaceTimes me from the bathtub. His mom gives me a hug every time I see her. Like, his kid knows
Oh,
me.
that's nice.
It's
Yeah,
we're friends.
like a support
I mean,
network.
in the
Yeah.
other gallery, my liaison babysits my kid. Like, we're tight. Like,
Yeah, that's good. That's, I think, really important as well to.
that's what I want. I mean, I feel like it should, to me, it should feel like you're just like, with your friends, like making cool stuff. Like, it shouldn't feel like too businessy, because that's
Yeah.
not interesting to me. I don't have any thoughts about like the market or like any of like that stuff isn't as
And you
interesting.
stay out of. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, to the extent that you can, but like I don't know. Like, every time I see something that's going on up in auction, I like kind of freak out. 'Cause it's kind of, if it sells for less than I say it's worth, like, that's devastating. But if it sells for like $1 million, and all of a sudden every painting I've ever given anyone that's hanging up in their kitchen is like, you know, like, how, I don't know, like, it's a fucked up situation.
Do you know where all your paintings are, or do
No,
you
no,
have
of
an
course
awareness
not. I
of,
mean, I've made thousands. Like, they're everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you're just happy to let them go and
Well, this is something else I thought about, like not advice, but like older me to younger me. I would just like I feel like I used to do trades, and or I still do trades sometimes, but like give someone a painting and like be saving a good one and so give them like a medium one, and then like the good one never gets seen, and eventually it becomes a shitty one compared to the rest. But the medium
yeah.
ones out in the world, I'm like, I wish I could give them the good one, like because that one's on someone's wall, and the good one is like rolled up somewhere or got thrown away. Like I remember I just had that feeling about like much earlier on when we were all just giving each other paintings. Like oh, I should have given away like the really really good stuff because no one's buying it anyway. Like
Yeah, and you can always, yeah, as you said, like you can always improve on it so it becomes
yeah, yeah.
the not good
I've
one.
got I've got a show next month, and the first painting that from this that's going to be in the show, the one that I finished first, I'm like, oh, it's not as good as the last one. You know, like it's already. And as soon as the show's up, the last one, I'm like, oh, it's not as good as the thing in the studio. Like it, and it might be. It's just the new one's always the most exciting. I find like the
Mm.
one that I'm working on is always the one that's like, "Ooh, this is going to be the good one. Finally, I've got one that's like the rest of them are
You're
all
putting so much pressure on your paintings to
no.
be.
It's just like oh, like I wish I hadn't half-assed that part. Like oh, I wish I'd have remembered. I wish I'd have just gone a little bit further on. I wish I'd have you know just yeah, I don't know, just made it a little bit better. I don't know.
Can we talk about your paintings and how you approach them?
Yeah, we
Like,
can try.
do you have an idea of, like, do you do drawings of what your painting's going to be, or do you have an
Uh,
idea and then you kind of working it out
Sometimes
as you
I
paint?
mean, again, I feel like I don't want a recipe. I don't want it to be a foregone conclusion. You know, like nothing against people that work from photos. Like I take photos or I'll screenshot stuff and like think about it, but like I don't want it to look like a photo. I don't want it to. I don't want to have like a fully realized plan and then I'm like, oh, I could just like give this to some art students and they can paint it for me. Like I don't. That
Mm,
aspect doesn't appeal to me. Like like I don't want. I want to make the painting. That's like my favorite part. Like
mm.
so,
Like the work and the searching and
yeah, just like oh, that was
figuring
wrong.
it out.
Like oh, I've got to scoot everything over 6 inches. Like the composition's fucked. Like this is a perfect painting in every way, but I just need to move it over and repaint the whole thing. Like I'm there for
How
that.
hard is that for you to
It's
do?
easy.
Like,
Every day I do that.
yeah,
Every single fucking day,
yeah.
and that's what it is. Like because I remember again those early days. You like finally get the hand. You're like oh, and you're like oh, but it's kind of like not really working there, but I worked so hard to get it there. Like I don't have enough faith in myself that I could get it again. Like take it out, do it again. Gotta, you gotta.
I think my rule is now if I really like something and think it's great, it's like that's wrong. Like if you're too sort of,
It is and it isn't. I haven't. I've got some drips in the painting on my easel now on the wall, like, and the drips are like so nice, and I'm like, don't lose it, because I used to always that's too
yeah.
cute. And I'm like, no, that's really cool. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna really try to leave it. But I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Is it enjoyable for you to do that? Like, are you in this good place or are you kind of destruction, like trying to
I
frustration?
don't know. I don't. It's not therapy.
You're just in it, you're not really
I'm not
present, you're
like
just
I'm
kind of
not like
making,
dancing and having
yeah.
fun. Like I'm not like making TikToks in there. Like I mean I don't know. It's work, but like I don't know. It just is. Like I don't know. Like yesterday, 2 days ago, I was painting and I had the earbuds in, and then I took them out and turned on the speaker and turned the music up loud, and then I couldn't find my earbuds. Like all then I was trying to walk home. I was like, where are the fucking? Like I looked everywhere, all my pockets and everything, because I was like so zoned out. I was just painting. Like it was just my brain wasn't even there. There was no conscious. Like I feel like ideally, you sort of like, oh, what happened? Where'd that come from? Like it just
Mm.
fucking flows. Like that's when it's working. And I like looked everywhere, and I came in the next day, and they're just like sitting on the floor. I guess I just like dropped them, just like these are bothering. Just kept on working. Like so, I feel like ideally, there's no thinking, there's no like judging. There's just you're in it, and then it's not like it's fun, or it's not like it's nothing. It's just you're not even there, and then you sort of like, ugh, what happened? And then you're like, wow, or like, ugh, or like whatever. Just like it just something went happen. Something came, it flowed. The universe came through me and did the thing.
Mm.
I think. I don't know. And then you're like, look at it, and you're like, no, that fucking sucks. Or I take a picture of it and I'm in bed at night and I'm like, tomorrow I really got to fix that, area there. That's not it, whatever. And I think, on my walk over, I'm like thinking about like, or I see something. Oh, I hear the baby crying. And she
Oh,
might go
sorry
back
to
down.
hear
She
that.
might not go back down. We'll see. I'd like have an idea. Or like I'll see some people and I'll be like, ooh, that kind of triggers this memory and triggers this thought, and then it kind of like, analyze it or whatever. Maybe make a note, and then come in the studio and just like play on my phone, and then finally like get to it, and you know, it's not working. It's not, and then all of a sudden it's working, and you're just like, you know,
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's
And it doesn't matter how many paintings you make, you still have to,
yeah.
like, it's not like you just jump into that place of it
No,
working every time you paint. It's
well,
like,
that's why, like I was saying earlier, I used to never skip days because I feel like I would take a Sunday or Saturday off, and I'd come in. I couldn't get back into it. Like the day had like the skip had like messed me up. Like I have to like just almost fall into a routine. You just like
mm.
you get there at 11, and then by 12 o'clock you're in it. Like but
And are you in dialogue with yourself, or are you like talking to the painting? Not to say
the
like
painting's talking to you.
that you're talking to yourself, but yeah, the
The
paintings,
painting
and you're just constantly
the,
responding
the
and
painting tells you what to do.
communicating.
Ideally, I mean, I don't know. It's like
Like you don't have Bill Jensen on your shoulder chatting to you in your ear, kind of
I
thing.
mean,
What would this person say?
oh, I
Or
wish you could help me. I always need help. Um, no, I mean, ideally, I like look at it and the painting's like, well, you use that color there. You got to change. The painting sort of like
yeah.
ideally the painting talks to you. I think that's what it is. Like I don't know. I don't feel religious or like spiritual in any kind of way, but I feel like sort of once you start to talk about like art making, I'm sort of like I don't really understand like what I'm doing here exactly. But I feel it in like I show it to someone and they feel the feeling that I put there.
Mm.
So like it must have worked. But like
I think it comes through a lot of like work and making.
but like
And like constantly it's like some physical visceral thing. And I want to talk to you about material like paint,
yeah,
because you're a really
yeah, I'm a
um
painting painter.
like your oil medium bottle, or your medium
Yeah,
bottle, and
yeah.
it's like thick and covered in paint, and your palette is just covered in paint.
Yeah.
And
Now
so,
my couch at
and your
home.
paintings are covered in paint,
No,
yeah.
it's look at my shirt. I mean, it's
So there's evidently like this really physical relationship that's also happening, not just visual images that you're putting on.
yeah, yeah. The paint is the paint. Like the next show is it's like just they have two spaces. One space is gonna have three big paintings. The other space is these big collages that I've been working on. It's like paper, like Xerox paper that I painted with acrylic paint, like every color I can imagine, and then I tear it and glue it. And it's kind of weird because like it's it's paint, but like sticking it on with my fingers and like gluing it to the thing, and so it's not there's no, I mean there's a brush because I brushed the glue on, but like it's a weird it is but it isn't, and like and you can't mix any you got the colors you got, like it's sort of like so like you can't just sort of like muddy it up, like there's no, and you can't like
Mm.
draw your way out of it because like I tear it, I don't cut it, I can't like be precise. Like there's a lot of sort of like limitations on it. But like you know, it's sort of like yeah, tying your hand behind one of your hands behind your back or something, or like trying to draw left-handed. Like so you get some really cool things that like never happen in the paint paintings. And then you get some other things that happen, and you're like, I would be able to fix this and I can't and I don't,
Mm.
so it's like
But they have the same feeling, like it's the
yeah.
same person has made
And
these.
I did some ceramics, like and some bronze sculptures in the past few years, and I was in a puppet show and I made a puppet, and I'm like, this all looks like shit.
Oh yeah, that was cool. The pizza man,
Yeah,
was that the pizza
yeah,
man you
exactly.
did?
It was
Yeah.
it was me as a 24-year-old. young artist, different pieces. But like, I'm like, this looks like something I would make, and like it's all,
Yeah,
and it's sort of,
you.
and like again, and like sort of hopping away from painting. Sorry, like the
That's
ceramics,
okay.
like immediately, like I already have the language, I already have the content and the subject matter. Like I can just, I don't know how to do this, but like with painting, it's like even as good as I get at it, it's like the least important part about it. Like the skill part is not, at least in my mode, like it doesn't, like music I listen to, it's, you don't have to be like a good guitar player for me to like the music. Like it's not that. So like,
Well, it's not so much skill, it's like your relationship to the material and how you're letting it work.
yeah. Well, like,
I think another really great artist would paint in a completely different way to you and use the material in a totally different way. Whether it be collage or
yeah,
paint, it's like finding your way of working.
yeah. Well, I think that's it. Like, uh, you find a way that makes sense to you. Like, and
Mm.
this way makes sense to me, and it sort of hopefully aligns with the stuff I decided to talk about. But yeah, yeah, I've done acrylic painting. I've done, gouache and stuff, the oil painting. Like it's, that like when you switch from one to the other, there's always like a few days where you're like, oh, like what is this? And then you sort of like, all right, like it's this way, and like you sort of figure out like what it is, how to let the medium be the medium, like through you. Like don't fight it. Like let it, like this is, the collage is collage. You're not going to be able to,
Mm.
so you have to let the thing be the thing.
How did the collage start?
I'm trying to remember. I've been doing them on and off for like a long time. I feel like I don't know. I mean, I must have read about somebody else doing it and thought that I would give it a try or seen somebody's work. I mean, I really like Romare Bearden, but I don't feel like mine look like his. His are, he like cuts out of like newspapers and magazines and stuff, and mine are all just, it just comes from um, just colors, not like deconstructed images or something, repurposed.
Do you paint large sheets of paper?
No, it's just Xerox, like
Just oh, you
it's like
like will just print out a
what do you call it, like
huge sheets of
A4,
different.
like I
Yeah,
just get like a pack of Xerox paper, and I take all the people and I cover the wall in sheets of paper, and then I mix up yellow, and then mix a little white into the yellow, and then I mix a little orange into that, and then I mix a little blue into that, and then I just like do every color I can think of,
hmm,
and I take that down and I do it again, and I do it with orange this time.
and then you rip them up.
Yeah, and so I've got a table, and it's got like yellow, orange, red, purple,
Yeah,
blue, green, black, and white, and like everything in between. So there's like, so I look at it and I'm like, this one's kind of red, so I put it in the red pile,
yeah.
and like, and then every once in a while I'm like, this painting needs a kind of yellowy black, and so I'm like, well, next time I'll make some in that kind of thing, or like some ochre color, So I have like every color I can imagine, or every color I can, that I can make, that I know how, and then I just,
Is that a meditative experience, like just ripping up all the little bits and working, or do you rip as
I
you
rip as I
work? Like you've
work.
got.
No, I just I'm
Okay,
like,
yeah,
okay, this needs orange. So I find some orange ones. I'm like, I think this one's a good one. And then I need a piece this big, and so I rip a piece that big, and it's gel medium, and I put gel medium on there, and then I paint it to the
yeah.
wall, and then I'm like, okay, next we're gonna do this gray triangle in this area, and then it just goes like that. Um, yeah, yeah, it's really fun, and it's like one really neat thing about it is like I've been painting these like cityscapes, like nighttime. So you'll have like a skyscraper that's like black, like dark blue phthalo, and I'm like, I want to put a bright yellow window in it, and you just put it there with oil paint. You're like, this is gonna be a muddy mess. Like I gotta wait for it to dry. I just like, we're gonna satisfy everything you want to do right now. There's no
Mm.
waiting. You just,
It's a nice mix to have that dynamic.
yeah. I feel like it's really gonna. I've only been working with collages this past month. I'm really curious to see like when I pick up a paintbrush again, like what's gonna happen. Because there is no mud. It's all clean color. Like I paint wet and wet usually, so like there is like I sort of have accepted that with oil painting, I'm gonna like I there's gonna be a little bit of mud, or there's gonna be like a dirty brush. I just, the way I work, it just is. That's just how it is. So like with these,
Your paintings are though very like vibrant and bright.
I hope
So
so.
you're evidently like
Well, the collages are even
good at
brighter. Like,
dealing with mud. Yeah.
but like that's always I've always had that. I mean, as long as I've been painting, I've had that like mud. They've always been kind of muddy. That's just sort of maybe.
It's part of
Well,
painting.
I don't think it is for everybody. I think this is just one of the trials and tribulations of being me. Like I just
Yeah.
some people don't have that. They just have self-control or like they know what the drawing is first or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're better at cleaning their brushes or I don't know. I've been doing this for like
Just letting the paint dry.
almost 30 years and I still, yeah, but having that patience, I just,
Yeah.
it's like, oh well.
How long would it take you to work through a large painting?
Uh, I've done an acrylic painting in 3 days, like a big one,
Yeah.
6 or 7 foot. And I've got a painting in my studio now that I've been working on for almost a year. And like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So like, and like work,
It has its own time.
yeah, or like, or sometimes they'll sit in the rack for like years and then I'll figure out how to finish them. Um, yeah, I mean, these collages go pretty quick because it's like all dry like right away. So, and like, I have an idea of what I want. Like, there's not like this sort of like this is a landscape painting, so it's sort of it's, it's headed towards the end almost the whole time. There's not like much. If I put the wrong thing down, I just pull it off. I'm like, no, it's not it. You know, so there's not much wavering. But no, it really depends. I mean, I feel like the past like maybe 8 or 10 years, I've had a show like every year, and the show always has like five, six, seven, eight big paintings in it. So you know, a
You
painting a
have to get it
month,
done. Yeah. Yeah.
but like I don't have a, I don't know. I mean, there's paintings that I don't show, and there's paintings that don't work out that I abandon. There's paintings that languish. There's paintings that just like happen. It's. I mean, I hope they work out really well from beginning to end, and
Do they go to the gallery wet?
yeah,
Or do you
all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
usually. Yeah. I mean, sometimes they don't, but like, yeah, totally. Shadow box them.
Yeah. 11th hour. I wanted to ask you about humor because I think there's so much you like you've talked about referencing your life and what's happening at the time or
Yeah.
using that as a resource for your imagery, but I also feel like there's a lot of humor
Yeah, I hope.
or like cheekiness in your work, and is that something you intend to do or you're just a funny person without realizing it or
No, I mean, I think humor is like well, in the painting. Like honestly, I think it's like a bit of it is like dealing with the like horribleness of the world. Like just
right.
gotta laugh. Like that kind of thing. I think a lot. I think some of it is definitely like things are so bleak. I'm just what can you do? Like because I swear to God, I'm never gonna make a fucking Donald Trump painting. Like I'm just not. Like I didn't make an Obama. Like with people like yeah, I'm like a straight white guy. I can't like I don't there's no room in my practice for like gender politics or like you know when I paint like a crowd there's like always different color people in it. Like I'm conscious of you know contemporary life and things, but I just it's not my place to like you know delve into different things. So I feel like online I'm very left wing and if you ever talk to me at a party, I'll always start talking about politics, even if like my wife tells me not to, because I'm ruining the mood. Like, but in the paintings, I feel like I don't know. There's like a lot of like rationalization or justification, or like I remember like seeing a Carol Dunham lecture, and he's got all these paintings of like women's buttholes, and like people were like, "What's the deal with that?" And he's like, "Well, this painting's really more about like how he used black gesso this time." And it's just sort of like dodging the question or something, or like.
Yeah, like these big naked women paintings that he does, and
And he's
like that is brought up a lot. Are you a feminist? And he's
right.
got,
I'm like, I'm totally a feminist. Yes, I absolutely.
but he's very like also I think practical and serious about his painting as a
Yeah. Well, like, a lot of it, I mean, you sort of want to put things into it, but I also feel like when I'm painting my best, I'm not into it. Like, I'm not even in there. Like, it's not that I'm not in there, but I'm just like zoned out. And like not sewn down.
It's not so much about the image, but also about
The
making the
images
painting.
come
And
out, like
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like uh but
I also think there's a lot of nuances in your work,
I
and
hope so. I mean,
like you have to find it. It's like, because I mean, some of your paintings are insanely like complicated, and there's many things happening, and you have to kind of search and go, well, what's that little person doing at the back corner? And
yeah,
like they've got some kind of attitude, and you can
totally.
see it, and you're like, I love that,
I
because
that
you are commenting on things, but it's not the big guy at the front with the muscles kind of fighting someone, or it's not always just what's the really kind of clear subject matter.
yeah, yeah.
And even those like the Kill Your Idols show that you did recently, like that was fun, but it was also complicated. And
Man, I hope so. I've seen like Rembrandt drawing, or like a little Rembrandt drawing where he's like the guy having sex with his wife in the bed, or like somebody stepping in dog shit or something. I mean, like go look at Michelangelo. Like there's like really funny stuff, and like it's there.
mm,
Maybe not everybody like acknowledges it, like in your art history 101 book, but like I think it's human nature, and it's something I enjoy putting into the paintings. Like again, I feel like the first times that people sort of responded to my paintings was when I was like I put like all these like tattooed Brooklyn guys like drinking beers, and like it's felt like human, it felt like
mm,
like people could connect to it, and I
mm.
connected to it. Like it didn't feel like it felt real to me. So I think, yeah, I think the humor is a really important part of the paintings, and I really like putting it in there, and so I think that's why it's there.
Mm. What do you do outside of the studio to like support your work? Like, are you going to galleries a lot? Do you listen to music or
Yeah,
read? Like, not necessarily painting related. I mean, I know you've got a
yeah.
13-month-old now, so that's really a
She's sort of a time suck, honestly.
yeah,
I'm still at home right now because she's here, so I've got to watch her. So instead
yeah.
of painting, no, I honestly, like, I mean, I think even before she came out, I didn't work like 10-hour days. I'm more of like a 5 or 6 hour kind of person. Just like get in there and paint, and then get out. So I still like she'll wake up, her mom will come home, and then I'll go work for 5 or 6. So it hasn't really, she hasn't. She's not ruined. She hasn't ruined my life yet. It's like she's really been a blessing and a nice thing, not a negative. Like it hasn't infected the studio in that way. But
It's maybe just giving you a more of a
we
dedicated
we
routine.
know what it is.
No more sleeping
No
in.
more. Oh my God, I used to lay in bed like for Christmas this year. I'm like, I just want y'all to let me like lay in bed till like 12. Just like that's all I want. Don't buy me anything. Just nobody bother me. Um, but they didn't. I had to get up. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, reading and stuff. Yeah, I read books. I don't read anything. I read like for fun. I don't read anything like heavy. I just read escapism, like fantasy novels. I'm reading the new Stormlight Archive book. It's kind of it's not as good as I wanted it to be. I'm reading this other book called A Vegetarian. It's by this Korean author. It's about this woman who decides to stop eating meat. No, I just read. I love to read. I read a lot, and I listen to music the whole time I'm painting. I've got like the not Spotify. I got Tidal because I think they pay the artist a little bit more. So I've got that, and I just listen to like Brian Jonestown Massacre and Earthless, and like King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard and stuff like that. And we go to art openings a lot. We've been bringing the baby. She's been a good sport about it. Um, we go to openings and we go see art. And my wife's an artist. It's nice because we love art, but we're not like there's no competitiveness because we're not in each other's stepping on each other's toes. Um, she's like
Mm.
she'll like go ride a sailboat to the North Pole, and um, she doesn't make me go with her, which is nice. And
You also do a lot of residencies, don't you? And
Yeah,
that's really nice together
that's
because
how I
you're both
met her. Yeah,
artists. You
totally.
can go and
And
just
I think that
pack up
that
and
initially it sort of started with her. Like the re I did a residency once. I went to Bronx Studio Center in 2011 because I didn't have a studio at the time, and so I went and I had a studio there. And then I feel like pretty much always, as long as I've been in New York, I've always had a studio. I haven't had an apartment, but I've had a studio. Like, um, so then I had a studio, and then I was subletting it from someone, and they came back, so I went upstate and did a residency, and that's where I met Hannah. And then since she's come into my life, she really loves residencies, so we've done a bunch of like we've been researching like family residencies. So we went to the Macedonia Institute over the summer, and it was just us and the kid, and they had a big barn we could work in out in nature. It was really fun, and we have a friend who lives in Cyprus, so we've been out there a few times. And next month we're going to Athens, to Greece, to another friend's residency for 2 months. That's cool, you get out of town, get in a new spot, get some sunshine, or um,
I think residencies are cool, and they are supportive of families. And
well, I think that's a newer thing. Like, I feel like there's been more like, I mean, I don't know. We're new to this because we're new parents, but I feel like we've been hearing about more that are like, oh yeah, bring your kid, or whatever. But yeah, but I mean, a lot of times you meet residencies and meet people at residencies, and they're like, oh, I wish I could live in New York. I'm like, oh, we do live in New York. Like, what do we got to leave New York? Like,
but also something that I wanted to ask you about, which is really nice, is that you do offer your studio to other people, and you're quite
yeah,
like
yeah, we ran a
supportive
residency
of
out of
other artists.
we my wife's English. We went to England to have the baby so we could be near the family and get that take advantage of that universal health care. It was really nice to be near family because my brother's in Newark, but he doesn't he wouldn't have been as helpful as her parents, obviously. And yeah, so my studio was vacant for 8 months. So I let we sort of ran a residency out of it. This friend of mine invited different artists to come in for 6 weeks at a time, and they would have like a little open studio at the end. And the my friend who we're gonna go do her residency in Athens, she was one of the participants. So she came to my spot. And she's like, "Oh, you guys gotta come to Greece." And I'm like, "Don't mind if I do." So
Mm,
yeah, it looks yeah. I mean, the place
really
is sitting
sweet.
there empty, and studio rents in New York's insane. So it's nice that we were able to do that for sure.
Mm. I wanted to ask, what do you celebrate? What nourishes you? What in your life brings you joy? What do you celebrate?
Celebrate. It's funny we went to the doctor for the yearly checkup and they for the baby, and they're like, "Does she clap yet?" And we're like, "Well, she hasn't really done anything clap worthy, so we haven't been clapping for her. So like, she hasn't seen anyone clap before, so I guess maybe we should start clapping for her." So she eats with a spoon, and we're like, "Yeah."
Oh, nice. That's really sweet.
And then she starts clapping back, like she eats and then she claps. We're like, "Yes." Yeah, I think that so great, and I don't know, but we had a birthday party for the kid, and we had like 12 babies in my house. Felt like a kindergarten over here. Somebody flooded the toilet twice. Somebody peed their pants. It felt like it was 2024, and I just moved to Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's like, can you just talk
It's,
briefly about like the shift of being this Brooklyn artist and now being managing that dynamic of, you are a family and you've got other commitments, and you're not
well,
at
we
a 9 to 5 job that you've been able to sort
no,
of.
it's so stressful. Oh my God, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, my parents used to go jogging, go like running, and I was like, oh yeah, you like, or like there's a you know like when your dad sneezes, he sneezes really loud, like achoo, like that's those thing on Instagram. It's like it's because the dad needs to just like scream because he's
Yeah.
just like so overwhelmed by his life decisions and his situation. Just got to shout every once in a while just to like clear your head.
Yeah, like the pressure. Yeah, it's funny. That is true. And we live in New
Like
York as well, which
ah,
is just so like insane. And the life and the world and everything is
yeah.
just
Oh my God. Oh, it's
so intense right now.
it feels like a lot, kind of. It feels like a whole lot. Yeah, and I quit drinking, so like I don't, I'm not sure much. Yeah, I don't know. It's
One step, one day at
yeah,
a
no
time.
baby
Yeah.
steps. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what the answer is exactly. Don't pay too much attention to it. Don't get upset about things you can't control.
Yeah, right. People have so many metrics of measuring things, and I think it's really important to get to know that you're actually just doing your best like everyone else and trying to work it out. It's not like some formula that's like, oh, I've got that and it's happening. It's like every day is a
No, you
question
gotta.
of
Yeah, I think you
what's
gotta
going to work for me and it might not work for someone else. And
totally. Well, I just you'd asked about the early days compared to now, and I mean, back then I was having so much fun, and like I'm having fun too, but like I never lived on my own. Like I always had room. Like there's all kinds of things, and
mm,
if you look at other people's lives, you might, especially here, because there's so many people who are like doing like so amazing.
mm.
Like it's hard to it steals your happiness maybe comparing your life to somebody else's. But like I don't know, figuring out like the art thing, like that's like you're
It's
in the
part of the
best part.
joy. Like,
You're in the
I feel
best
like,
part.
yeah, the struggle is kind of, I mean, it's the same if you're just doing a painting. It's like the struggle sucks, but it's also
That's
like wonderful to,
you're chasing the horizon the whole time. Like you never. I'm still waiting for like when I make a really good paint. Like I'm like, yeah, these are
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Or like I'll see it and I'm like, that was a nice one, but I'm like the the
There's a
next one.
hunger or there's something pulling you in.
There's
I
gonna
mean,
be
then
one
that's
that's
what really you're in for the long haul. Like,
yeah,
you may not
or you're
never make
not. I
that
mean,
painting that you like, you may never be satisfied. And that's kind of what keeps the wheel turning and the search going is like, what can I do next?
yeah, no, I mean, if you don't like being in the studio making the paintings by yourself and no one looking at them, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Or you're not. You can just go get a normal job and have like a normal happy life. Like I don't know.
No, I think it's a great life. I think it's
I love it. I wouldn't trade it for
exciting and
anything.
yeah. And I think
It's
there's
the
a
best.
reason you don't work in the other way or like it doesn't fit for you because this is how you are and who you are. And I think if an
Yeah,
artist can work it out, it's like thoroughly enjoying. Rewarding is probably a better word, not enjoyable.
yeah. No, it's not fun. It's not therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like miserable and lonely, but I like it.
How do you feel? I just ask you one more quick question, just about you've had people like Bill Jensen that you've worked for,
Uh-huh.
and these people that have kind of been in your orbit. Can you ask them for advice, or do you have like that support? Has that really helped you just to have them there? And
Yeah, I mean, first day of class with Bill and Margaret, you go to their home. He shows you how to make paint. They show you their studios. They like, you know, cook you a meal. Like you see like what a living artist in New York is. Like there's like this is the life. This is what it's this is how we do it.
mm, mm,
He's always like keep your overhead low. Just I don't think he's like prescriptive and like I feel like some teachers probably are like, here's how I paint and this is how you will paint.
mm-hmm.
This is the way to do it. I feel like they didn't, he and Margaret, they didn't be like, no, it needs to be abstract paint, whatever. It's how to develop yourself. And, I don't, I feel like I got got a lot of information from the artists that are, came before me. But I feel like he said another thing that he said many things that resonated with me. But one of them was like, I just have been doing this a little bit longer than you. Like, it's not,
Mm, mm.
you guys are all artists too. Like, this isn't, you don't like get out of grad school and then get a Chelsea gallery. Now you're an artist. Like, no, you're an artist right now. Like, this is it. This is happening. Like
Yeah, he's
you,
got a great generosity of the studio. I've been to a studio visit with Bill where he's just giving, well,
just
both
pearls
Bill
of
and
wisdom.
Margaret, but like showing how it works. Like his knowledge of materials is insane, and so
Yeah, totally. I
like
mean,
not that I'm looking to him to paint like that, but like I gain so much about material and
yeah,
like
no,
his
he shows you how
commitment
to
and
make paint
dedication.
and everything. He's like,
Yeah,
here's how you make paint. Like,
yeah. Like I went on this whole trajectory of making paint. I'm like,
oh,
too
I did that
much.
too. And I was like,
you
this is
know?
way too much trouble. I can't. I want to paint. I don't want to make paint. I want to paint.
But
That's
that
it.
generosity of like, uh, offering that.
Yeah, no, he's like my New York dad. I mean, my brother
Yeah.
moved here and he didn't have a job, and he's like, "Oh, you can come work in my house. We got weeds for you to pull, and we got landscaping work for you. Like, you can stir the paint, like whatever. He's, you know, he set a great example of how to be with the, you know, the younger ones for me, I thought.
That's good. Yeah. And valuable because that's also a different generation of like what the New York world was and what it is now is
Oh my
so
God,
different and crazy and
totally. No, I mean they have these stories. You know, I had a loft that was a whole floor of a building in Soho, and the rent was $100 a month, and I couldn't come up with $100 every month. Like, you know, we went to the Donald Judd's studio building, one of his like not class, but just I remember 6 stories with like two or three sub basements. I think he bought it for like 400 grand, like in American dollar in today's adjusted for inflation. Like what? You know, they
they were really struggling artists. I mean, in a different way. It's like
yeah,
they
yeah.
were
Bill
living like
Bill used to collect firewood from like the shore over there in Williamsburg and bring them home and burn them in the fireplace to keep them warm. You know, like these stories about all the rats in the you know, just like it was like the Wild West. Like
yeah,
you know, we're very
like they
living in
were
a different
really like buffered or like I don't know the word is
yeah
brutally like scrubbed
yeah
to
no
reveal
totally
whatever is. Yeah.
yeah. Like we're not gonna starve to death. You know, like the heat is on in my building. It's not a
Yeah.
like that's like they were like the frontiersmen or something.
Okay, well thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm flattered to be asked.
Enjoy Greece.
Oh well, if the world if America comes apart, I might not come back.
I don't know. I literally like it's very confusing
Yeah, no,
right now, and
um, it's really disillusioning. It's really
it could change in a week. You know, that's what's so kind of like there's this underlying stress. I went to this talk last night and they were talking about it's like we're trying to make paintings or we're trying to be creative and they were poets and it's like but there's also so much like shit going on in the
yeah,
world
yeah,
and
yeah.
chaos. It's
Well, you know, Matisse was making those like interior paintings in World War II. They're like very relaxing and comfortable.
yeah,
Each you know,
yeah,
comfortable chair, you know, whatever. Like I don't know. Artist got a art. This is a great time to be in a punk band.
good one. Okay, well enjoy your afternoon and I'll
All
talk
right,
to you soon.
thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to We Are Art People. You can listen to full episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and a limited edition series is broadcast with Soho Radio London. We are online at weareartpeople.com. Sign up to our newsletter for show updates and happenings, and please share with someone who may enjoy listening. See you next time.